up early, just want to knock it out. So I appreciate everybody for watching the recording. This week will be based upon NVIDIA's earnings. So we'll go through that. Hopefully everybody's feeling well and feeling right. And we're just going to jump into it and we're not going to waste no time. We're going to get into this thing and keep this train rolling. So let's go ahead and do that here now. Share my screen. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So NVIDIA QQQ. Let's recap the QQQ. Let's have a good breakdown here on the QQQ. So a couple of things that I do want to make note of is that on the NASDAQ index, we have seen a nice recovery off of the low that we saw from last week. So, we do see a nice recovery here off of 600. So a couple of things, notes that I want to make. We made essentially a kind of a double bottom, not really though. It was like a little bit mixed, but we did have some wicks right here, but essentially a DB was here formed. So we did see a double bottom at that level. We did have a perfect double bottom here at 180 on NVIDIA. So we have a double bottom. The neckline is right there at 194. So if you look at NVIDIA, the neckline is right there. So if we break 194, 195, so the level to pay attention to this week is 200. So when you do come to, there's a couple of things that I do want to make note of. When you do come to the earnings, there we go. We come to the earnings calendar. Let me get my X account up real quick. All right. So have that in the fold here. Some things to watch out for NVIDIA. Of course, earnings and revenue numbers always matter, but guidance is always going to be the most important thing. Guidance. So I want you guys to hold on a second. I don't know what it's doing with that. I'm gonna have to fix that in a second. Nonetheless, when you do take a look at the QQQ, the top name, we understand that it is NVIDIA right here. That is the top name on the QQQ. Holdings, right? 9.9%. Apple, 8.69. Microsoft, 8.15. So you got that there. So QQQ double bottom, NVIDIA double bottom. No surprises, I think, at all, especially when you have the number one ticker that is within the NASDAQ right here. Number one ticker here. So I don't think there's any surprise at all when you do have a DB that has went ahead and played out. Right. So, looking here, I would just stress to people when you are talking to S&P 500, let's talk levels for the week. We're currently at 673. So just want to give you ahead of time the downside action. I want to take a couple of things and jot it down for you. So we're going to stretch a diagonal trend line all the way across. Notice the last two times have been when we came to these diagonal trend lines and bounce. Remember the last one, we came and bounced right here on Friday, November 7th, right there at that 661, came and bounced here right here at 663. So you guys are seeing firsthand how the diagonal trend line actually works, right? Now, last week, we also broke back above, right? And we pushed back up here to 686. So when you are thinking 685, 686 area, when you are thinking this week, funny enough, we just closed right at 675. Notice we sold off a little bit before the end of the market day, but notice where we ran right into. So now we have to watch out for right here on the S&P 500 this week. I would watch underneath 665 and 66, right? 3666 right here, this level. Because if we break this level, we're going to come down to 660. So I just want to put that ahead of time. If the QQQ gets back below 600, we're coming down. And then here on the S&P 500, if we get below 667, we will draw to the downside again. So there's no surprises, no what happens, no none of that. I want you guys to pay attention, right? So we can break here to this downside, right? If we get below, right, that's 667, right? So it's a little tongue twister there. 667. So I want you to put that level down, 667. If we get below that area, 667. Now, 1 second. What's going on, great people? Yep. DM that word mentor today to get access. I'm pre-recording the weekly watch list right now. So DM that word mentor to get access. All free classes, DC classes canceled. I got a call last night to turn back on NYC. I will come to NYC, but that'll be it. I don't want to do no more free classes. I'm just doing it off the strength that I gave my word to somebody. Other than that, I'm not doing it for DC. And I'll be doing it for NYC. I will do it for NYC just off the strength I gave my word, and that's that. But if you want access into this program and you want classes like this that I'm putting on, you can join my community right now. You can also go to my YouTube channel. I am live on my YouTube channel right now doing this. This is what I do. I wake up every morning to deliver value and to help people and change people's lives and to show them what it is in this market and teaching them step by step how to fish. There's been numerous amount of people that have taken my program that have been able to effectively learn this for themselves. So I want you right now to go over there. I want you to send me a DM this morning, right? Because it's 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm up teaching and I'm up adding value to people. That is not free, right? That is not free. So I get a lot of people think that I'm just supposed to do stuff for free. But listen, I'm going to put a great price in front of you. If you want access into this program, we got a plethora of ways to be able to get you access into this program for little to no cost. So if you're serious and say, yo, L, I really want to be in the program, but this is all I got to afford, send me a DM right now. Get yourself locked into the program. That's what I'm saying to you now. Don't be on the outside looking inside saying, I want access into the program, but I don't know how I'm going to pay for it. Send me a DM and we'll work something out. Other than that, you can go over to the YouTube because we're doing a live breakdown over here. You guys can actually follow this over here on the YouTube. So go ahead and pay attention and make sure you send me a DM with your name, email, and number. I am giving you guys discounted access today. I don't want to hear about nothing that I ain't give nobody, no good price and all of that. I'm telling you now, if you want access into this program and yo, this is what I got to afford, you should be sending me a DM. I should have a ton of DMs in my request of people saying, yo, I want to join the program because I want to be on these Zooms every single week, right? Because we're going to be on Zoom all day tomorrow. So if you want access into this program to be on Zooms all day, like a lot of times we are, this is the time to get in, right? I pick up the phone. I have conversations with this young lady that just came in here just now. This gentleman just came in here just now that are both in the community, right? And I've provided premium value. Don't nobody outwork me. So I want to make that clear. Doesn't nobody outwork me. I outwork myself from yesterday. That's it. That's my goal. So let's get to business. Let's get to work. Make sure y'all send those DMs. Get yourself into this program today because I'm going to put an alley-oop in front of you. The question is you going to dunk the ball or you going to fold? Question is, you going to dunk or you going to fold? Because it's 6:30 in the morning. Rest of everybody's still asleep and I'm out here working. So let's get to business. I don't play around. Let's get to business. Hop on that YouTube if you want to see the screen. If you want to see the screen is right available for you on YouTube. If not, send me a DM because guess what? We're gonna run this class. We're gonna run another class tonight, and we're gonna pop up on them. We're gonna pop up on them. We're gonna run another one tonight during Sunday night football. I don't give a damn. They got their millions already. I'm trying to get more of mine. Simple as that. So let's talk this S&P 500, right? So the SPY, you got to watch it at 667. 667 and the QQQ at 600. So those are your levels for the week on those two tickers. Now let's talk next steps. Let's pay attention. YouTube link is in my bio, so you can pay attention to the YouTube link. Let's talk next steps. A couple of things that I want to go over actually before I get there. Let's talk TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor. Everyone pull up ticker TSM. So TSM is going to be, of course, really relying upon what NVIDIA does this week. This is NVIDIA week for those just joining. So NVIDIA is going to report their corporate earnings. With NVIDIA reporting their corporate earnings, what we do tend to see is, of course, the other semiconductor names tend to follow. So let's take a look at the SMH ETF, which is up from $170 at its low point right here over the past. I mean, that move, right? $170 came, very, very, very fast, right? all the way here to 340, right? For an ETF to double in 6 months is pretty crazy, 6, 7 months. But it is a true testament to how much NVIDIA has went up, TSM has went up, AVGO has went up, Broadcom, AMD, Micron. I mean, those five names alone, right? And this is why I've continued to discuss when we have now AMD, which is, sitting here above $200 a share. I could just run the tape back and highlight how many times that we discussed AMD. I could run the tape back and highlight how many times we discussed MU. I could run the tape back and I could highlight how many times we discussed TSM, how many times we discussed NVIDIA as far as best prices. That's old news though, right? Let's speak to, because tonight, let's talk about a couple of things. 276, that's your downside level on TSM this week. Now, what's the percentage chance of it breaking? I was saying between 40 to 50%. We've been trading sideways, if you notice, right? Like really since like October, we've just been in this range, right? And usually range bound trading usually leads to one or two things, right? Either you break finally to the upside and you break out, or the market becomes exhausted enough to where you now finally start to pull back. So to me, I want to say this here now is particularly here on TSM, watching that 276 level again this week, because we drew down to it again on Friday, came right back up here to 286. So if you notice, majority of stocks that you're going to look at made double bottoms, right? Majority of stocks made double bottoms. So like I said, I do want to say that to you. Majority of the tickers made DBs, right? And they made double bottoms. Now, let's go over here to MSFT. I want everyone to put 515 on the docket for yourself, 515. So put 515 on the docket here for yourself. So 515. If Microsoft breaks through 515, right? I want you guys to do this, right? If Microsoft breaks through 515, right? I want you guys to watch this move up here to 525. And listen, if you want access into this program, you want to be able to work directly with me, we still got 4 slots available for you to come in person for a week, right? So we got that information. Let's pause that, right? Because everybody wants the free game. But who's doing this? We're going to switch this thing up. We're going to switch up the game on these people. Switched up the game on these people. Microsoft 515. 515. So here we go. Let's cut that off real quick. Cut that off real quick. Make sure you guys tap into the YouTube. But this is what we're going to do. First 5 people is 4 people left, right? 1 person already locked in. First 5 people can lock in access, right, for $1,000. Price is going to increase after the first 5 people lock in. It's going to increase to $2,500. Anyone can secure their spot immediately by paying $2,500. What is it? What does really this entail? This entails an opportunity that you get to select a specific week with me. They choose 5 consecutive days, Sunday to Thursday, to attend. Sessions are only in person and hands-on every day. So that means you spend all day with me. You get to sit directly with me during market hours, follow live entries, exits, confirmations, and timing, watch the full decision-making process in real time. B, be able to identify and build a system that suits the student's personality and trading style, eliminating emotional trading and over trading habits. So we ain't going to be watching the screens all day trading every day. We will be teaching. Number C, right? We are going to identify support, resistance, index confirmation, SPY, QQQ, DIA, VIX, recognize patterns, right? Double bottoms, reversals, distribution phases, etc. Establishing A+ setups, execution, improvement, proper entry timing, how to allow trades to develop, review and debrief, end of day breakdowns, what went right, what went wrong, key improvements for the next day, right? 5, core skills that students are going to learn, daily prep routine, understanding market cycles, corrections, real-time confirmation, swing trading using 2 to 9 month contracts, understanding SPY and QQQ leadership, improving patience and building conviction through evidence, not emotion, right? Risk management and realistic stops per trade type, how to avoid choppiness and getting over trading using different strategies, right? So these are the things that I'm covering. Now, what should the students expect? High intensity, right? Focus week, real learning, no shortcuts, right? Honest feedback, right? Like this is just what I just tell people, right? So at the end of the day, how you can secure your spot is we got 4 slots left. You pay $1,000 or it's going to be 2,500. You confirm your enrollment and then you select your week. That's how you get it. So no fluff, no games. A lot of you guys is buying a bunch of BS. I'm going to just start calling it what it is. Show up and deliver. Every single week, I don't come here to fool with you to talk about sports. I don't come to here to talk to you about rappers. I don't come to here to talk to you about politics. I come here, we mention DT every so often just because we got to. I really don't like doing that, but we got to in this market. Show up and deliver. That's where we show up. I give you the stocks. I give you the tickers. I talk to you about your favorite companies that could be trash or not trash. I give you the value and you can make money off of it. No game, no fluff in between. No fluff in between the game. So if you know this is for you, you want to pull up in person, you need to sit down. It's $1,000. That's a discount. I asked people yesterday on the live, I said, how much do you think this should run? Some people said 5, 10,000. There was one person that said 2,500, and that was, well, 3 people that said 2,500. And I said that was the number that I wanted to make it, right? Because I wanted to make it affordable, right? So this is what it is. You talk about coming in for a week. Now I'm giving it to the first 5 people for $1,000, which is really nothing because everything you're going to learn from me in a 5-day period, you could just break that down to $200 a day that it costs to sit with me and really learn this thing. No one else is going to be there, just me and you, because we only taking one person at a time. So that means my attention is divided to you. So to me, that's a steal at $1,000. At 2,500, that's really like still a steal because it really should be $5,000. But 2,500 is still a steal, not as a steal as 1,000. So I'm gonna tell you here right now, you want access into this. Don't wait. One person already has reserved a spot. Don't question the value because if you hear on this YouTube right now, if you hear on the live, it was enough value enough for you to take the free plays, enough value enough for you to be following me, enough value enough if there's a free class, you hopping on the Zoom. So don't just get bits and pieces of information, right? So if you want access into that, be serious about that. We'll be right here live in trading, mentorship right here in Atlanta. Ain't too hard to find. So that's $1,000 for the first 5 people, right? We already got one person that took care of it. So it's 4 slots left. I'm going to tell you here now, because I'm putting it here on blast, it probably will be gone by the end of the day. I'm gonna say that. More than likely, it'll be gone by the end of the day. So I'm gonna say this. If you're not in the group, if you do this, I will give you access as well into the group. Now, if you're one of my people that is in the group, I'm not even going to say the price, but just hit me on the side for the price. For the first 5 people, I'm going to give you guys, for the first 5 people that's in the group, hit me on the side because you ain't going to pay $1,000. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to do something real nice for the people that's already in the group. I'm going to make it to where you can't refuse it. So if you know you in the group, but you like, yo, L, I want to be on it now, it ain't even going to be $1,000 for you. So I want you to send me a text now because I'm going to give you guys a separate price. And I'm not going to say it here on the YouTube because guess what? The people that's been in this group, you guys earned my respect. You guys earned my love. You guys earned my consistency by putting your bread up when other people was fooling around, playing around with this thing. Oh, I'm kind of thinking about it, but I don't know. I paid a guy 10K and he couldn't, he didn't do this, or I paid a guy 15,000 for an options course and he didn't teach me Greeks. But you came in here for free and I taught you Greeks. I'm done. We're done. We're done. I taught you Greeks for free and you paid man, I'm done. You paid a BS for a BS $15,000 course and you ain't learned option Greeks. I'm done. You ain't learned 3-to-1 ratios. I'm done. You ain't learned in the money, out the money. I'm done. You ain't learned technicals. I'm done. So we're going to leave that alone. You want access into that? Hit my phone and hit my jack now. Let's get cracking though. Microsoft 515, pay attention. 515, pay attention. Because if it cracks over that, Microsoft would be back on the up and up. Now, Microsoft's been in this descending pattern here for a little second. So if we can get Microsoft to actually shoot over, right? If we're actually going to get over and shoot over, right? And see and push here to the upside, 515 will be that level. So I want you guys to look at 515, pay attention to 515. At 515, if we don't crack that, Microsoft is going to come back down. All right. So MSFT, those are your levels there on Microsoft for the week. Next ticker we got to talk is Tesla. All right. TSLA right now at 405. The level for the week is 414. If Tesla cracks 414 to the upside, we are going to be taking that a look back up to about 424. Tesla got sold off and dumped underneath 430 last week and actually drew all the way down to my 383 level. Tesla was down $15 in the pre-market, but rally buyers stepped right in at the spot we expected them to and pushed the stock back up, right? Definitely only ATL. For anybody that asking me, no, it's not happening in any other city, only ATL. So when 383, right? So 383 on the downside, if we break below, right, break below that level, that's it. We'll see a move downward all the way to 373. All right, so those are your levels to watch out for the week on TSLA. It looks like we're forming a bull flag here on the hourly, though. So in the hourly time frame, we are forming that bull flag. So on Tesla, over the pre-market high tomorrow, you might be able to look at a move towards, right, 414. So keep that in mind. The next ticker is Netflix's split week. I'm not going to give you my best prices on Netflix. You're going to have to subscribe to my community to get that. What I will tell you on Netflix, though, is Netflix is going to actually be able to, definitely, if you want to see this 1082 and 1063, right? 1082 and 1063, 1026, 1015, 996, 997, right? So pay attention to that. Those are your levels on Netflix. Underneath 1082, Netflix is going to come down a bit more, right? So that's definitely what I wanted to stress to you guys. So, yep. Next stock I want to talk about is ticker GE. I have them on my watch list for this week. So I want you guys to go to GE. GE has made the watch list for the week. So watch GE above this 316 level. So hold on one second. Let me go out weekly time frame. Just a couple things that I want to showcase here. So I want to go back to the past here in 2000, right? So GE broke over a few weeks ago. It broke over their actual all-time high originally set here in 2000. So that's how good that we've seen GE been, right? Like this run on GE has been absolutely incredible. Now with GE, whenever they get above, currently right now, earnings are not expected for another until January again. So no earnings report expected, at all. Right. So if we do make this, a couple of things I want to make clear to you guys is when I am monitoring and watching, right, GE, if we can actually see, right, GE get above this 317, to me, it's going to run. So you got a bull flag pattern here on the weekly. You know how these flags can be, right? And we've sat here since September, relatively in the same spot. Whenever GE breaks the top of that flag, right, it is going to run and create a new high and probably shoot up to like 320, 340, right? So I do want to make sure, right? I definitely want to make sure that I can set this up for you so you guys can see this pretty much clear as day. So that's 315, 316, right? So I definitely want you guys to make sure that you guys have that information down. So 315, 316. Make sure you put those notes down for yourself. I would look out to, if we are to break that, at minimum, if we do break that, or if at minimum you're thinking about adding a call on GE, I would suggest that you at least do so. I I would say making sure that you at least probably put at least, I would say at least till March of next year, March and further contracts, right? March and further contracts, I would suggest March and further. So G's and a bull flag, we're going to just get ahead of it. We see that set up there. So that's what we see with GE. Next ticker I want to talk about is ANET, Arista Networks. You guys know, fan favorite here. But sometimes your fan favorites, they get dumped on and get their heads cracked and blown. What I wanted to show here with ANET, we actually had a weekly close below, and it's the first time that ANET has had a weekly close below 133. All right, so I do want to do a couple level setting things here. I want to go to this 4 hour and a couple things that I want to highlight for you guys, right? Because now ANET has been on a dramatic losing streak, which doesn't happen too often, right? We've seen a couple, we saw one here in early 2025, right? And we drew down to $60, perfectly hit that level. And this is what brought us up here to this day. Stock went from 60 to 160. Incredible run. Currently back here at 131. So what I want to talk to you guys about is last week's low. So let's say ANET gets below 125. You can look for the stock price to come down here to 121. But I also want to talk to you about long-term investing in this company, in this ticker, right? So I don't see a really good price until about 80 to 90 bucks, right? So $80 to $90 for ANET would be a price as a long-term investor. Hey, push come to shove, we get a correction or a bear market that comes in, 80 to 90 bucks would be ideal, to start maybe picking up some shares. I think you're overpaying for the equity here. So I wouldn't want you to do that. I wouldn't want you to overpay for ANET here. Currently 165 billion in market cap, 49 P to E. Sweet spot, a good fair value price would be right there around 80 bucks. So right there around 80 bucks would be perfect for you to be able to pay for that ticker, right? Now, a couple other notes that I want to make on a few other tickers. Let's talk Shopify next. Ticker Shop. Shop Inc. Same situation. You see, you got to do your homework, right? Same thing. Wedge pattern, first time, same situation as ANET. This is how you know when you're on your technicals. Don't make no excuses, ifs, ands, buts about it. Show up and be on your charts. This becomes second nature when you dedicate the time to it. At 7 a.m., some people still sleep, but they're saying they want to be traders. Okay, keep sleeping. Get on these charts. You want to make money in this thing. You want to put yourself in a better position. This is what it takes. So $150, right, is where SHOP shop broke. So I want to talk about these levels here. We almost got to this 139, but I want you to put 139.37 on your notes for not just this week, but going forward, right? And then after that, I want you to put 133.50 on your notes after that. So if we do see this name break down below 140, essentially, Shopify be coming back to 133. Now, it has experienced a few losses. On the way back up, I'm going to take my diagonal trend line, and I want to highlight that diagonal trend line and say at 150, right? So at $150, right? $150, right? We are going to see right here. 1 second. $150. If we see that move, that would be the move back up that we'll see in the short run. Notice that we right now are currently making what? Lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs. So even if we push back upward and don't make higher highs and higher lows, we are going to come to the downside. So if we break underneath 140, right? Watch that level 133 get targeted and get hit. All right. Next ticker is ticker BABA. I want to talk about Chinese stocks for the week. Alibaba may be on the move downward. So for the first time in a couple weeks, we've actually seen, first time since September, we've seen price close below 157. I want to let you guys in on a few key numbers here today. And those levels are going to be right here. A couple things to look at, right? It's right there at 150 and 148.31. So on Alibaba Inc., get ready for a pullback on Alibaba, guys. So I want you guys to focus on this name, especially if we get below 150. So Alibaba, watch for a drawdown of maybe another 15 to 20 bucks. Now, if I would have told you that when Alibaba was at 192, you would have been like, man, it's going to come down. Yep. So that's my thoughts on it. Right. So if you do get an opportunity to see, right, 153, 180, right? Remember, from 180 to 153 here now. So the next things that I want you to monitor and watch is at 143 and 138, 133, 128.66. So take these levels and put these levels down on your chart right here for BABA. Right, so that's for BABA. Next ticker we're going to cover is Meta, and then we're going to cover actually ticker BA. So this is the next stock on the list. Now, Meta, it's sitting right here at the diagonal trend line. Now, I'm going to say this now. Meta. You guys know how I feel about this bad boy. METU, let's talk Meta and the 2X levered ETF. METU is currently at 28 bucks. So it's sitting right here at the diagonal trend line itself. Yeah, we actually, oops. A second, there we go. All right, so METU and Meta, right, with a brief break, notice that the selling kind of continued to happen. Let's give you Meta, right? So let's say Meta drops to, because it's at 609. Let's talk worst case scenarios right now for Meta. Let's say they start coming back into this 570 range, very briefly, 550. We're just speaking in hypotheticals, may or may not happen. But Meta is not the stock that usually stays on a discount shelf for too long. So I want you guys to consider really watching Meta here. Hold on. There we go. All right. So METU, and then you have Meta, right? So METU and Meta. I want you guys to put that down, right? METU and Meta. All right. Next thing that I'm gonna do is I want to make sure that you have those levels down. So 574, also METU, 24 bucks and $20. So to me, I don't see Meta getting that low right now. The only way if we break underneath 595. So write that down on your notes. Underneath 595, Meta is going to come down to 574 and 550, right? So write that down. As from a long-term investor perspective, if I told you that you might be able to get back in the 500 range here on Meta, you would take it. Because Meta was getting ready to head to $900. Everybody was giddy. Now I'm giving you an opportunity to get a world-class company. Business ain't changed. I'm on a Meta platform right now, right? So definitely, I do think it is super, super, super duper important to just take those notes down on that ticker. Ticker BA. Actually, let me see a couple of things real quick. Put Bitcoin up here because we're going to get to them in a second. But now we got ticker BA. BA. All right. So Boeing, is it going to go or is it going to fall? That's the main question. Underneath 191, I want you to put this down. Boeing is going to go back to 185 underneath 191. So 185 underneath 191. So those are my thoughts on ticker BA. Got a few more tickers. We will be live mentees later tonight with another class, our second class of the day, but we got to talk Oracle. With a rejection at 225, Oracle has made a lower low, then proceeded to make a lower high. Below 216 this week, right? Oracle will come down lower below 216. Now, if we don't break through 216, Oracle cracks over 225, you got a stock that can head back up to about the level we shorted it at last week, which was right there at 233. So Oracle above 225 is going to 233. Below 216, Listen, guys, it's going to come down here to these, start hitting these levels and start paying attention. 198. I want you to make sure you have that on your chart, right? You may face a little support around 207, 208. But other than that, I want to see this thing coming down here to 198, right? Below that 216. So those are my thoughts on it. Below that 216. What I'm going to say to you guys is on certain tickers, like I'm not going to really discuss NVO because my thoughts ain't changed. NVO, not a ticker you should be looking at every week in general. Like I said, put your money in NVOX, continue to add to it little by little, forget about it. Don't watch it every week. That'd be the problem. People think tickers supposed to move every single week. What are we discussing? A ticker that I said is going to take a few years to recover every week. I'm not worried about the price action over there. I want to know about it when it gets to 75, 80 again, because I'm hitting the sell button. BTC, now let's talk Bitcoin, 95K. Money needs to arrive in this thing this week. Otherwise, BTC is going to go to 90K. So very easily this week, Bitcoin could be back to 90 or even 85K, staying underneath this diagonal trend line right here at 98, 99K. So Bitcoin, once again, you're hearing it now. What does that mean? That means that MicroStrategy, 180, 181, excuse me, dollar off. 181. After that, 152. After that, 117. There's only three major levels. Just like really, there's not really much stopping Bitcoin if it gets below these levels from going back to 70, right? 73, 77K. So if Bitcoin goes back to 73K, 77K, MicroStrategy would probably be about 117 to 140 bucks, somewhere in between there. So MSTU would be less than $1. You buy more, right? We're tracking this downside as much as we can. We see it, right? BTC sitting at this trend line right here, right? So if BTC does break down, we understand where it's sitting at. So that's why I said I just want to make this clear for everybody, where BTC is at, right? Sitting right here at this trend line. So it's make or break time, put up or shut up time. That's what needs to happen on BTC. MicroStrategy, $199 could easily go to 117, 150 if Bitcoin implodes. If Bitcoin implodes. ETH, watch that thing as well. Right there at 21 to 1700. Those are your best price scenarios there. But ETH underneath 3K will see a decline. Right? Let's talk about a ticker that's on a chopping block. Once again, we covered this is NVIDIA week, so NVIDIA will decide the market. Couple things to make note of. Yeah, so you can just send me that DM for that. Appreciate you. Thank you for that. Nebis, I'm gonna tell you here right now where you want to buy Nebis, 20 bucks. And some people think I'm playing with this. You can put NBIS down, $20 a share. Some people think I'm playing, but okay, we'll see it. $20. That's where you want to buy Nebis. These are frothy tickers, frothy investments. Yandex, I appreciate you. So send me that DM. I got you. Right? Nebis. So there you go. It's 7:18 on the check-in. Next time you'll hear from me will be, I'm going to do it today. Next time you can meet me back here at 6 p.m. tonight. 6 p.m. tonight. So 6 p.m. tonight, you can meet me back here. 6 p.m. tonight. We'll do the class early. I won't even cut into your Sunday night football tonight. So 6 p.m. 6 p.m. I will cut into your 4 o'clock games though. So 6 p.m. tonight, you can meet me back here. Be on deck, be ready to execute, be ready to go. Also, like I said, for my people that's in my program, right? I want to make sure that you guys get this access, this live in-person mentorship. For my people that's already in the program, it's going to be less than the 5 slots. So that's for people outside of the program that want this work. If you're in the program already, you can DM me now. You can get this access for a week. Sit with me Sunday through Thursday. You can schedule your days, and this can be in advance, right? This can be in advance. but get your slot locked in, right? Get your slot locked in, because once it's gone, that's for the first 5 people that's in the program already is going to get this very special price to come in person, right? So that means that 5 weeks will be blocked off Sunday through Thursday. Boom. The price that you're getting, you do not want to miss. So I'm going to stress that to you right now. The price that you're getting, you do not want to miss. Now, for the other first 5 people, that's for people outside the program. The cost is $1,000. We actually had one person lock in, so it's only 4 left. After that, it's going to 2,500. So if you want that access, you want all of this, this is what it takes. You want to meet with me in person for a whole week, just me and you, ain't nobody else. This is what mentorship looks like. I'm done with the playing around, all that stuff. I'm really cool on that. Let's get active. Let's get busy. Don't waste my time because I don't want to waste yours. Don't waste mine because I don't want to waste yours. If you're serious about getting into this program and you say, yo, L, I'm trying all of this stuff, be serious and get yourself locked in, guys. Lock in. It's 7:21. This recording will be posted up. And this is what I'll say to you guys. I'll see you guys at 6 p.m. tonight. 6 p.m. tonight. My community only, though. Won't be on YouTube. Will not be on live. So my community only. That's how we running that thing. We got an all-day Zoom tomorrow. So you'll hear from me enough tomorrow. You'll be tired of hearing my voice tomorrow. I can guarantee you that. So 6 p.m., right? 6 p.m. will be our second meeting of the day. Community only. So community members only. At 7:21, hopefully everybody's feeling well. I'll see you guys at 6 p.m. tonight. Last and final questions. Yeah. Last and final question. Speak now, forever hold your peace. You got 3 minutes to get your final questions in. Last and final questions. Questions. Last and final questions. It's Sunday and we working. No off days. Great masterclass yesterday. This class is over. Questions. Any questions from anybody? Speak now, forever hold your peace. Speak now, forever hold your peace. Questions. Once again, people that are in the community, you get a special price. You don't have to pay $1,000. I'll tell you here now, because some people probably hesitate and like, I don't know, right? It'll be $500 for people that's in a week. $500. So for my people that's in the community, you can decide, is the value worth it to pay $500 to sit with me for a whole week? You decide. So it's $500. I'm giving you half. For people outside the community, it's $1,000. $1,000. How do you determine sentiment for the day or the week? That's the question that you have. How do I determine sentiment for the day or the week? If you watch this whole video, that's the answer to your question, right? So how do you determine sentiment for the day or the week? You start with the QQQ and the SPY. Then you go in and you break down your tickers and your levels and see what patterns they're forming and creating. So the answer to your question is this whole video, right? This whole entire video that we did, what we do on the weekly watch list, that's how you determine sentiment for the week. And each day you can do your pre-market. That's how you do it. So that's not like a one-word answer. I know sometimes people are looking for just one-word answer, but everything that we did today, that's those steps in those process determine how we actually get our sentiment, or whether we're bullish or bearish, right? Below a level or above a level, right? So that would be my answer to your question. All right. So we don't have no more questions. And that's pretty much it. I appreciate everybody for their time here this morning. I'm going to shut this thing down. And yeah, look forward to seeing all community members at 6 p.m. tonight. So I appreciate y'all for your time. And that's that.